Hello everybody and welcome back to our channel. Today we'll be reviewing the Velis armchairs collection. I was so excited about this combination of three Velis chairs, varied in their details. And here we are in our new location in Archamps. It's a French town near the border, just south of Geneva. And let's discover how special these armchairs are. So the Velis collection is huge in terms of variations that you can decide on your own armchairs. Let's discover these three ones, which have been built with the same exact materials, but with different shapes and different details. So we start from this version. Actually, this is an armchair because its importance, its dimension allows us to define it as an armchair. But in the Velis family, it is the chair version. Why? Because here you see the so-called armrest is lower than in other versions that we're going to discover. And the chair version, you can have it with the so-called low back, which is a mid-height back, or with the high back, like in this case. And, well, I'll sit onto it so that you can find out about its proportions. Well, you can perceive that this feels like an armrest, but it's not an armrest because it's too low to rest my elbows onto it. The back is quite high, is around 90 centimeters, you can check on the product page, and it does support my back quite well. And, well, here is a good chance to see how beautiful it is, the craftsmanship of the walnut used. You can have oak structures here in different shades, or you can have real walnut. And I find it amazing. You know, I was shooting a video about a console table, a very good craftsmanship, and I was pointing out that there was a tiny gap on the joint between two pieces of wood. And in that case, I was pointing out, you know, you do this when you want to have a perfect alignment. You create this tiny gap intentionally. Here, what we see is that there's a superb level of craftsmanship where I see no gap, I feel no gap. It's simply perfect. Of course, here we have centuries, I can say. I know it sounds like boasting, but you know, this is the very cream of the top of the top of Italian craftsmanship. This is made in Friuli, which is the very northeast of Italy. And well, sorry for my excitement, it's amazing, this detail. Now we move on to the proper armchair. In this case, it has a the so-called lower back, higher armrests and lower back, but still it does support your back. And, well, of course, you can see here it's lower onto my back, but I can actually rest my elbows, okay? I'd like to point out one of the multiple details that you can choose. For example, on the other armchair, you could see that the back was covered in leather, or the material that you choose. Here it is covered in wood. And just like we were pointing out the beauty of the craftsmanship, the curves also as well, here we have a different approach where we have a multi-layer panel which allows to curve wood like this, which covers the back. And so we have wood and upholstered part in front. And what do you like? What approach do you like more? Would you like the use of leather on the front and wood on the back, or for example, all leather? What's your take? Write it in the comments. Here we get to yet another model, and this is the appozzetto armchair. Pozzetto in Italian means little well, because it has the shape of a little well, and it's a comfortable type of armchair where the armrests are actually attached onto the back, and this means that the back normally on appozzetto armchairs is rather low. You can perceive it here. And here we have, well, the appozzetto armchairs, you can have the swivel version, you can have the version with the four legs that we see here. You can have a fully upholstered version, or you can have this amazing Vienna straw version. Well, let's sit on it. Okay, so we said lower back. So if I bounce back, you can perceive in this sort of sitting style, it's less comfortable than a higher back, of course. Reasonable support of my elbows, but what I find really exciting are the looks, the feel of luxury, the tradition that I perceive. In comparison to other straw surfaces. I perceive these to be slightly darker and with shades. I love it. I love it also on the back. I especially like the fact that here on the armrests I have straws both on the inside and on the outside, while here on the back, where my back will be laying, I have an upholstered cushion inside and the Vienna straw on the back. And here also we see the multi-layer panel. And this actually shows us how a chair like this is built inside the upholstery. Because we showed on every model the luxurious solid wood structure, but what's underneath the fabric or the leather that you choose on other models? Well, there is a structure like this in multi-layer, similar thickness, okay? Just this one is shaded so that it has the same color as the rest, while of course you don't perceive it underneath leather or fabric. As to the upholstered part, you can have all sorts of materials, fabrics, faux leathers, velvets, leathers. You know, I'm excited I get about leathers. I love leather. And here we have the Lord leather, which is a full grain leather. And I'd like to point out, you see all these signs? You might not perceive it from the camera, but we'll try to show them. Well, these lines are not defects of the leather. They're actually features, because we must think that leather is animal leather. It's leather of cows. Well, also, let me open a parenthesis. Well, you know, one could consider that leather is not an eco-compatible product, while it is, because it's a waste byproduct of the meat industry. So until people will actually eat meat, the option is either burning these hide leathers, burying them underground. That will not be eco-compatible, or an option is actually working this byproduct of the meat industry and turn it into these amazing products. And you know, with full grain leather, you actually see the story of the animal. So what do you prefer? You prefer a smooth, perfect leather, or you'd rather prefer a leather with this sort of features? Write it in the comments. So we've come to the end of today's product review about the Velis armchairs collection. I hope that you shared my excitement about certain features. See you next time. Bye bye.